Crafternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Well, today we're going to have some fun because we are going to be doing some monochromatic silhouette stamping. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of silhouette stamping, and we've got lots of beautiful silhouette stamp sets in our collection, and I'm sure you do too. So you can do these techniques with any of the stamps you have in your collection or any of the ones that we have in our collection if this is new to you and you're just thinking about getting started with silhouette stamping. So to begin, I'm going to show you what silhouette stamping basically is, and then I'm going to show you how to do a little twist on the monochromatic type of silhouette stamping. A few years ago, I did a monochromatic silhouette stamping video, but I'm going to step up that technique a little bit. And when I go back and edit this video later, when I add all of the details, I'll also link that first one so you can see that video as well, because that has some really pretty cards in it. And it'll be just a little bit of a step down technique from what we're going to do today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, happy crafternoon.
You look happy today. You must have been on your bike this morning.
I had a delightful ride in today.
Yeah,
Sunny.
rode into work?
Oh, this is what I've been waiting all winter for, right?
Yes, and it's going to be a beautiful day here in Milwaukee. I think close to 80 degrees today.
Boy, we had to work for this one, huh?
We really did. We had to get through that long, cold winter and then all of those crazy flooding storms that we had, but we'll take what we can get, right?
Yes, and I'm opening up today with a phrase of the day.
You are?
I have another one, but I think you're going to do silhouette stamping.
Silhouette stamping.
I've renamed your silhouette stamping.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
I call it silly hoot stamping. Silly hoot stamping today on Gina K Designs.
Oh my gosh.
Too much too soon?
You're in a silly mood today.
Too much too soon.
Well, do you have another word of the day for later?
I've got another word of the day,
okay.
Yes.
All right, well, we're getting
Such
right
as
into
they
it.
are.
We're getting right into it today. I still have Zeus hairs all over me from Tuesday night. Oh. All right, well, I'm going to first show everybody some silhouette stamping and what that looks like. So when we think about silhouette stamping, and for those of you that are newer stampers, let me just give you a little quick lesson here, because you're going to hear these words a lot here on my channel and in the crafting industry. So let me show you the difference here. Now, here are two stamp sets. This is called Friendly Silhouettes. Let me do a different one here because I have two of them in there and it's blurry. This is called Celebrate You, and this one is called Floral Friendship. Now, when we talk about silhouette stamping, the kind of stamps we're talking about are stamps like this. They have thick lines. And so when you stamp them in black, it appears that you're almost looking at it where the sun is coming right at you and you only can see the black silhouette of these designs. Now, these stamps are called line art images. They're different than silhouette images. Line art images generally have thinner lines, and they're meant for coloring or for stenciling in color into these open spaces. Now, one thing you might not have thought about is if you have line art images like this, you can easily turn them into silhouette stamps just by coloring them in black. So if you don't have an appropriate silhouette stamp and you think, oh, this would be gorgeous for this card that I'm making, but I want it to be a silhouette stamp and it's not, just instead of using the coloring stencils to color these flowers yellow or red or blue, use the stencils for these flowers to color them in black, and this will become a silhouette stamp. So you can turn a line art stamp into a silhouette stamp It's a little harder to turn a silhouette stamp into a line art stamp. Although what I have seen some people do is they'll stamp this stamp in a very, very light color, and then they'll use colored pencils or markers over the design to color the design. But it still has that thick, chunky silhouette feel to it versus something with a more delicate line. So I wanted to show anybody that's new what the difference is, and then I'm going to show you several silhouette stamp cards that I've made over the years. So this one is these are basically silhouette style stamping, where you ink blend in beautiful, bright, or soft colors like some of these, right? And then you get those chunky stamps and you stamp right on top of that beautiful color or white. Here I did reverse silhouette stamping or reverse blending, where instead of, just as an example, when you get our masked oval stencil, it comes with an oval mask, and you could put that oval mask onto a piece of cardstock and you can ink blend around the outside, leaving the space open on the inside for your silhouette stamp. So that's another type of stamping you can do. And if you don't have this stencil, you can just cut an oval using a set of oval dies or circle dies out of masking paper like our Masking Magic sheets. But here are a bunch of different silhouette cards that I've made using this technique. And I've used different background techniques in the mix. But you can see all of these have one thing in common. They have colorful backgrounds. Most of the time they're multicolor. Sometimes they're just plain. And then we stamp the images in black ink over the entire colored background. But today we're going to do something different than this. We are going to do what's called monochromatic silhouette stamping. Now, monochromatic colors are colors that are different colors, but they're all in the exact same color family. So, as an example, Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, and Tranquil Teal. This is a monochromatic palette. They're three very different colors, but they are all in the same exact color family. Blue Sky, Powder Blue, and Blue Denim. This is a monochromatic mix because they're all the true blue, and that doesn't have any teal or green in it. True blue, but it's a monochromatic pattern. Let me give you one more. Light Lilac. These are cheaters. They're easy because they're all the same name. Medium Lilac and Dark Lilac. Again, a monochromatic color blend. So we're going to color blend in monochromatic colors, but we're also going to stamp in that same monochromatic color family to make the whole card a monochromatic card. So there's not going to be any black ink in this stamping today. So to start, I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock here. I have two. That's okay. And I'm going to cut down a quarter sheet of this. So let me just cut this in half. And I'll cut these in half again so I've got some quarter sheets to work with here.
Question, how do you get the oval masks to stay put?
So what I do with the oval mask, if I'm going to use the masked oval, what I do is I take a tiny little bit of the Gina K Designs tape runner, this dot tape runner. And let me show you why. I'll do it on black cardstock. Okay, so I'll take this oval and I'll put a tiny little bit of the monochromatic or the dot adhesive. I don't know if you can see that on there. Probably not. Maybe a little. And then I'll put that on there like that to hold it down. Then I'll do all of my ink blending and I'll gently pull that up. And if there's any left on there, you can just rub your finger over it and it will rub right off, because this takes a little while to set and become permanent, and that will not ruin the center of your cardstock. The other thing that you can do if you're not using this mask is you can use Masking Magic sheets. These are the Masking Magic sheets. Well, I don't have, here they are, Masking Magic sheets. And then what you can do is you can take one of our ovals dies, and you could cut an oval any size that you want out of the Masking Magic sheets, and you can pop that oval onto your cardstock and ink blend that way. If you don't have that, you can use something, one of our master layout sets has, well, a couple of them have big ovals, big circles, big rectangles, and you could cut with those, and they don't have the stitching on them. So it depends what you're looking to create. Okay, so now I'm going to start by die cutting this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to cut this out using, I gotta find my plate. Actually took some of this home last night so I could work on some stuff. Did I work on stuff? No, I fell asleep on the couch. But you know how that goes, right? And I'm gonna take this die from Master Layouts 11. All right, and I'm going to cut this out, and I want it to be centered. So this die itself is an A2 size panel. And I did that so that you can center things really easily. See, it's perfectly centered there. And you can take like a Masking Magic strip just to make sure that that doesn't move. So what I do sometimes is I will just take a piece of Masking Magic here and wrap it around, and a piece of Masking Magic here, I don't want that to be too big, and wrap it around. And that just holds it in place so I know it's centered. And the reason why I want to make sure it's centered is because I'm going to end up using this as a stencil. And if I use this as a stencil, I want to be able to center it very easily on my cardstock. The Grand Garden Gate is A2 size. It'll fit perfectly on an A2 size panel. It goes pretty close to the edge, which we did that on purpose because that was designed for Rena's wedding invitations, and her wedding invitations are A2. I don't think I have one in here. I think I have it in my office. But her wedding invitations are A2 size, and we wanted the gate to be an A2 size gate to fold over and go to the top and to the bottom. So it does fit. I know it fits because we made 120 of them. Okay. So let's put this aside for now, and I'm going to get this sticky mat here. Alrighty, and then I'm going to get a regular piece of A2 size, that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to just lay this down right onto the sticky mat. Now, because I've created this stencil out of a piece of cardstock that's the exact same size, I am going to have to put this down with a little bit of tape. So I'm going to just pop this right on top so that it's even. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to cut this out again with a different die, but I want to make sure that it is as even as possible and as centered as possible, so I know I'm not too far to the right, left, top, or bottom. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Masking Magic just to tack this down. Since it doesn't exceed the edge of my piece of cardstock here, there's nothing for it to stick to. Okay, so now we're going to have a little bit of fun with this, and we're going to do this a little bit differently than what we have here. Now this card is kind of what I'm going to mimic, except I am actually going to make each one of these boxes a monochromatic fade. And instead of doing it in a way that it just blends together where you don't really see the fade, I'm actually going to space it out using Masking Magic strips. So these Masking Magic strips are 1/8 of an inch strips, and I'm going to put these up the window here. I'll start at the bottom. We'll do the bottom ones first. Actually, I'm going to start at the top here. The top of the bottom, if that makes sense. Okay. And I'm just going to space these out evenly. This is just going to jazz up the whole look of this. All right. I'm going to go all the way down, and we're going to reuse these strips on the top because I know it looks like I'm using a lot of strips, but you know what? If you don't use your tools, what's the point, right? What's the point of even crafting if you don't use your stuff? It's supposed to be fun, and we're supposed to use it. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I made kind of like a Venetian blind kind of look here. And now I'm going to grab some Post-it notes. Post-it notes are my friend in the craft room, especially when I'm doing any kind of ink blending where I want to segment stuff off. Okay, so now I'm going to start with, I might as well use those teals because they're here. I'm going to block each one of these off. And I'll start with Tranquil Teal. So I'm going to start with my darkest color toward the top. Where'd my blending brushes go? All right, here they are. Let me get my blending brushes here. I'm going to use a small brush for this one, just because it's the darkest teal. I'm going to use my trusty ink stand. So a big shout out to Mariann Shaffer, because it doesn't seem like I can really craft without an ink stand. Okay, so I'm going to start with this Tranquil Teal.
Can't stand it.
Can't stand it. All right, going a little darker right in the center, and then just work my way out into a fade. Okay, let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good. All right, now I probably could have done these two together because I think I'm going to do these two colors the same. But I am going to go a little lighter handed on this one. Not quite as heavy. And it's okay if I get ink on the top one because it's the same color family and I can't really make that any darker, right? Or I can't really change the color too much on that one because that's pretty dark. All right, so there's the Tranquil Teal. Now the next two down, I'm going to do with Turquoise Sea. I'm going to use the bigger brush and some Turquoise Sea. So here we go. And again, it's okay if this is open. If you're doing this with all different colors, then just put a Post-it note up there to block it. I'll block it anyway, just to be more on the safe side. And I'm not going all the way to the edge, but there's my Turquoise Sea. You can see it's definitely a different color, but it's in the same color family. And now I'm going to finish this up. The last, I'll go heavy-handed, then I'll go real light-handed. Now, we're going to use sea glass, but before we do, I'm going to use the residue that's left on this brush to start it a little bit. This way it's not going to be quite as dark as the top one, as the top two that I just did, the top two Turquoise Sea ones. And then I'm going to get some sea glass in here, and I'm going to go with the super light hand.
So Trina asks, have you ever thought of listing materials you will use ahead of time so we can play along? Oh, I know the answer to that.
Tom, go ahead. Explain why I don't do that.
Because she has no idea what she's going to do ahead of time.
It's absolutely the truth. I didn't know that I was going to use turquoise on this. I didn't know which dye I was going to use. I just grabbed one. I am very kind of spur of the moment when it comes to my lives. I don't do a lot of planning. All right, so now I'm going to move these down so I can use these same strips.
Stampin' Chat could also be called the seat of Gina's pants.
Really. It really could. You're not the first person who's asked that. That's why Tom knew the answer. But the good thing is that with the Stampin' Chat Lives, I don't go super fast. So if you do have a somewhat organized craft space where your ink is in front of you, you could just grab these colors and try it. Or if you don't like to do it like that quickly, then you can always watch it on replay and just hit the pause button as you go. And this way you could take your time. Yeah, but unfortunately, I do not even know what I'm doing next. I'm just going to focus on this first, and then we're going to go from there. I don't plan a lot. This started back during COVID, where I started making live videos just because I felt like we all just needed a break, from the news and the horrors and all of that. And I never knew what I was going to do. I would just show up and be like, hi, it's me again. Shall we make some stuff together? What should we make? And it seemed like people just enjoyed that a little bit. So, all right, so we're going to start with the same top two here. And we're going to start heavy-handed with the Tranquil Teal. There are some times that I plan. I think the only times that I really plan is when I do like a master layouts video, which I have one coming up in the next month or so for Master Layouts 21. And then in the next couple of months, with the mix and match. Okay, so we're going to take that off, and we're going to flip this over. And now we're going to go to Turquoise Sea. Same thing. I'm going to block this off here just to be safe. Kind of a heavier hand with Turquoise Sea. I'm working my way out with a lighter hand. Then I'm just going to use the residue that's on this brush for the first two. So it'll be a little lighter than the Turquoise Sea ones we just did. And then I'm going to finish that off with some sea glass, which is our lightest. Hey, Kathy Zilski. All right. Now, let's take this off. And then before we pull everything off of here, I'm going to take these off. We're going to fill in a little bit of the white space, so it's not so stark white going down. All right. And we're just going to do that again with the residue that's on the sea glass brush. We're going to start right in the center, and we're just going to bring that color down on an angle, kind of like right to here. We're going to do the same thing over here on an angle, right to there. Same thing down here. And same thing over here. That just fills in a little bit of that color just with the residue that's on the brush. Okay, now let's take off this and see what we have. Oh, isn't that kind of cool?
Wow.
And we can save this and use it again. Because it's cardstock, and it is a very smooth cardstock, you might reactivate this color a little bit if you mix it with other colors. So let's say you decided, I'm going to make one now in yellows. You might get some green because the yellow and the teal is going to make a green. So I would stick to colors that really won't be too affected, like maybe purples, or make another one with the teals, or just the regular blues that I showed earlier. Okay, so that reveal is fun. Now let's do some silhouette stamping on here. I'm going to get my Misty. And I'm going to pop this into the Misty. And now we're going to stamp some stamps from this set. And we're going to do the same kind of look that we did here. But instead of leaving this on, because this is thicker because it's cardstock, I'm going to go back in with some Masking Magic strips and just block all of this off. Okay, so I'm going to block that off. These are 1/4 inch Masking Magic strips. Now you can stamp through it if you want. I mean, you just have to really put some pressure on there. But I'm going to block this off. Like that. And then I'm going to use 2 Post-it notes just to block the edges off. Let's try to get this one a little straighter. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to just block these edges off because I wanted to mimic this card. But we're not going to use black ink. You can, and it would be a super cool look if you decided you wanted to do black ink for this. You absolutely can. I'm just going to block this off too. We're like draping for surgery here. And then I'm going to do the same exact images that I did in that card, which is from the Friendly Silhouette stamp set. But again, instead of stamping in black, just go ahead and tear that down. Instead of stamping in black, we're going to stamp in our darkest ink that we used, which is the Tranquil Teal. We're going to stamp that. And we can stamp it again. Okay, so this is Tranquil Teal. It's not black. It's going to dry up to that Tranquil Teal color and give us a completely different look than regular silhouette stamping with black ink. So this is our little twist. Okay. Let's move this over to here. Just going to block that off. That off, and we want to go right up to the edge here. Now I'm going to use that butterfly stamp from the same set. You could use the new Spring Things stamp set for this too, which is super fun because it has those big silhouette flowers, and it's got a beautiful silhouette butterfly and dragonfly. So if you're looking for more card ideas for that, just sub out the stamps that I'm using today for your new kit if you have the kit. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp this butterfly.
Cordelia noticed that the stripes are just like the ones on your shirt.
Oh my gosh, they are. I must be in a stripey mood today. There we go. Okay, so we'll pull this down. Did I get some ink on here? I did. That's okay. We're going to cut it out with master layouts too. And if there's anything still showing, we can just use a little white gel pen to block that off. Part of that might be because, see how my thin Post-it notes are? I think maybe I got a little ink spread through those. So maybe I should use different Post-it notes. Maybe I'll use these Post-it notes and see how this works. All right, I'm going to use the butterfly again. And the reason why I'm putting Post-it notes here over the Masking Magic is because I don't want to stamp into the next box. I'm not too worried about positioning it there because there's Masking Magic, but on the side and the bottom here, I'm going right up against the image. There we go. Okay. And now we'll do one this way. Fold that. And again with the Tranquil Teal. Looks pretty good.
Question, do you have all the master layouts memorized?
No. I don't. I have to look. That's what I love about the binders is when I'm sitting down, the binders that we made together, when I'm sitting down to do some kind of crazy card, I look at the master layouts binders that we made and I play with them. And I mean, I know quite a few of them. Like I know master layouts 14 is our postage one, and I know like our postage grid one. And I know 1 and 2 because I use them so often, but like when it comes to like 13 and 16, I have to look. I know what's in each set, but I just never remember the number. Do you guys have trouble remembering the numbers too? Do you find that the binder thing that we put together was helpful for you when it comes to figuring out which one you want? The idea sheets and those printout sheets with all the shapes and everything really do help. They're all free printables on our website. All you have to do is go to our website, ginakdesigns.com, and hit the blog tab, and then you'll be able to find templates and charts, and they're all there, all the printables. Okay, stamp that. And again. You could see this is lightening up quite a bit than what it looks like here, because that's what our colors do. Our ink lightens up to its true color once it's dry. So if you stamp and you're like, oh, that almost looks black, it does almost look black until you dry it. Okay. I think I have ink on my hands. All right, so there is a monochromatic silhouette design. I'm going to turn this into a quick card. Let's pull it off of this grippy mat. And then we're going to use Master Layouts 2. I always know that one. Okay. Master Layouts 2. Part of my problem is I leave blending brushes on the table. I don't put them back in the holder right away, and then there's like residue on the table that hits my hand. I have so much stuff on my desktop, I can't even open the die cutting machine. And I know I'm not alone. I know you guys do that too. Okay, so now we're going to cut this out with Master Layouts 2. Let me put Master Layouts 11 away. That's what we used for our 4-up design, Master Layouts 11. Now I can find Master Layouts 2. We'll make it work. Somehow we'll make it work. Okay. So we'll cut this out with Master Layouts 2. That's going to be really pretty.
Our marriage vows.
We'll make it work. Somehow. I can stand you. Part of our marriage vows. Okay. There we go. So we cut some of that off. There might be a little bit of stuff that we have to fix there, but for the most part, you can see the totally different look than this. And now we just need to find the perfect greeting. So let's do that next. And again, I don't know what I'm doing ahead of time. And you know, we have a new problem. It's not really a problem. It's a me problem, actually, because, ooh, you know what? I'm going all monochromatic. I'm going to use Tranquil Teal instead of black for my layering panel. Oh my gosh, take my temperature. No black on this card. Can't even believe it. So it's a me problem because I am an extremely disorganized, messy crafter. There is no organization at all. So I have somebody here helping me get organized. But I have so much stuff in this studio that there was no room for her to put any of the stuff that she organized in here. So we set up a table outside of the studio. It's right outside the door with all my stamps, stencils, and dies. Now, the good news is it's super organized. The bad news is I used to just reach and grab what I need as I was like stamping off the cuff. Now I at least have to grab what I think I'm going to use. So I have this whole tray of things, and I have this whole box of things that, you know, I'm not going to use all those, but they're all potentials. But like I was just thinking, what will be really pretty is to have a die cut word, but they're out in the other room, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so we used Tranquil Teal as the card base here. And then, let me clean up my desk spot here.
Question from Judy. Gina, with the wedding in May, will there be a May release?
There will be a May release. Yes, there will be. I may be a little bit absent here and there, just because I'll tell you what, and I know so many of you have planned weddings before. This is my first. This is actually my first real, like, I mean, Tom, how many people did we have at our wedding?
I think about 21.
Yeah. 21 people. So Tom and I, when we got married, we
and we knew most of them.
When Tom and I got married, we were like, we should get married. And then I called my mom and said, Mom, I'm getting married. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to plan a wedding. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to be in 2 weeks. We're getting married in 2 weeks. And it was for no other reason than we wanted to get married in 2 weeks. Tom and I didn't have our first child until we were married for 10 years. But we just wanted to get married and get out on the road because we were musicians and we, you know, played music. I'm going to use this for the center. So this isn't monochromatic. It'll be the only thing that's not... Oh, wait, maybe I won't. Changing my mind. I have the right to change my mind. Ooh. This would be pretty. Here's to, let me get my hair out of there. Here's to to bright and beautiful days ahead. I could stamp that in teal and then I could cut it. That's what I'm going to do. So we had, 21 people at our wedding and we put it together in 2 weeks. I remember I went to this store. This is going to bring back memories for some of you. Do you guys remember gunny sacks? Gunny sacks dresses? I know you do. Some of you do. Some of you might be a little young for gunny sacks dresses, but maybe they're still around. I don't even know. But it was a very old-fashioned style with a lot of lace and poofy sleeves and everything. Well, when I was in Philadelphia, that's where Tom and I are both from, they had a gunny sack store. And I went to the gunny sack store and I bought a wedding dress there. And see, this is why I have problems, because did you see the way I opened that? That's going to be an issue. I went to the gunny sack store and I bought a dress on the clearance rack for like, I don't know, $45 or something. It was a wedding dress, a gunny sack's wedding dress. And Tom had a tuxedo because we played in a band. We played weddings. So he wore the uniform, right, Tom?
Yeah.
You didn't go out and get any fancy tux or anything. And we got married. We got married at my church. And then we had a little reception at a little restaurant. We just had, everybody came for dinner. And my dad was kind enough to buy dinner for everyone. And that was our wedding. That was it.
And we had a roving accordion
We
player.
did. We had an accordion player that played while we ate. So that was our wedding. So this is kind of a big thing for me. And I cannot believe, for those of you that are planning weddings now, I cannot believe, number one, what it takes to plan a wedding, how there's special dances that the brides do with their fathers and the grooms do with their mothers and they do with each other. And there's themes. Like you have to have a wedding theme. I mean, our theme was, we're getting married. That was our theme. Now there's a theme. So Rena's theme is kind of like Italian Renaissance. Beautiful. But everything is very expensive. I remember we went to one place to look and Tom, you weren't at this one place. It was like the first place we looked at. And it was a beautiful place. And they said, okay, well, here's our basic package. And I think the wedding, for the basic package, to have the wedding there, it was like $35,000. And I was like, what? And that didn't include food. And I grabbed Rena and I'm like, let's get out of here. That's crazy. So needless to say, that place did not work out. But I guess for some people that, it's their thing. But Rena and I decided to do some things that did cut down expenses, like we're making all of the flowers ourselves. We bought silk flowers and we're doing all the arrangements ourselves, and yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so this is going to go right into the center there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I know, I just, when you hear this, and I'm going to sound like an old lady now when I say this. I'm going to sound like a grandma, an old lady, but that's okay because I am. Not a grandma, but I am an older lady. I always think if, people put as much into their relationship as they put into the wedding, the divorce rate would be much lower, right? Right, Tom? You and I, 40 years together. It's a long time.
40 years of wandering in the desert.
21 people at our wedding. Planned it in 2 weeks. We actually planned it in like 2 days, but we just pushed it out 2 weeks so
It was perfect.
people could come. All right, okay. So there we go. There's our first monochromatic card. Isn't that kind of fun? Something a little bit different. I love that. Oh, look at all the people. 47 years. Wow.
Whenever I see these cards, the monochromatic cards are so spectacular. But my first thought is where to do that one little splash of red or something like that.
Is that what you want on here?
Well, it's just, it almost like I get pushed there when I see one of those because it's so fun to just think of what might, not saying you should do it. It's just, it's an invitation or a temptation, I should say.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could always do it with the greeting. You could always do a splash of color with the greeting.
Or bling or something.
Or some bling, yep. All right, let's do one more in a different style. So I'm thinking what might be fun to do is, I had one card that I made that in my last video, and I'll link that video, where I used this plate. So Brianne, help me. What is this plate called? It is the Circles. I'm gonna guess. The Circles Trio, the Circles.
No, Jean, don't worry. She's not doing red.
What?
Jean said, no, don't do red.
Yeah, no, Gina, I'm not doing red. I'm leaving it monochromatic. Otherwise, I'd have to rename the video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out using this. Okay. I'm trying to see if Brianne knows the name of this plate. I could look it up too. Oh, Brianne found it. Circle windows plate. Yes. So we're going to do a circle windows one. This is one that I did in the other video, but I'm going to jazz it up a little bit with some Masking Magic strips. Okay. Well, I didn't have that machine set tight enough, but that's okay. So we're going to use that as our, should I use that as the template? I don't know. Maybe I'll save this and put this on top. I'm going to try that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut circles instead. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But I want to get a small plain circle. So let me find master layouts. See, I don't know all the names of them, but this one might be a good one. This is master layouts 9.
Wow, congratulations to all the anniversary celebrators in our viewing audience.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, many, many years of joy.
Many years of joy.
Brings to mind another one of your Sicilian father's jokes.
Uh-oh.
Your Sicilian comedian father's jokes.
Oh, no.
In all the history of our family, we've never had a divorce. A few murders.
Yeah, several murders. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line these up just by lining the die here onto the back. I don't even know if I need to do this, but I feel like I want to do this. So I'm going to just pop that right there like that and tape it down. And then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to make a little template here that kind of lines up with this Circles window plate. And all of our cover plates, like that Circles window plate, coordinate with master layouts too. Yeah, my dad was funny. Okay. So we're going to take this out. And now we're going to line up the next one the same way. Because I want to make, I could have just used this as the template, but I want to go a little bit outside of the circles here. I want to make sure that I've got room to breathe a little bit. So, line that up. There we go. I'll cut this one. And I'll check it again to make sure. It's gonna work. Yeah, that's gonna work. The reason why I don't really want to use the stitched cover plate is because sometimes the ink seeps through the stitching. Although I probably wouldn't see that if I was going to put a plate on top. But we'll see if I even want to put a plate on top once I do this. But I want to give myself that option. Otherwise, I could just cut these 3 things wherever I want. All right. Now, so those are going to work. This one back here. So this weekend is the bachelorette party. Did you have a bachelor party, Tom? I don't even remember.
I did not.
Did you? I think you did. I think it was like you and your brother, and you just like went out.
Yeah, maybe.
To eat. I think that's what I did with my sister. I think it was like me and my sister, and we just went out to eat or something. No, I don't think I had a bachelorette party. And we didn't have a shower either. How did we make it, Tom? How did we make it? I don't understand. But all kidding aside, it is really fun, and it is really nice, you know, when you can do all of those things. It's a great opportunity to get together with family and friends, and it's also fun. All right, so that's going to cover really nicely, and so I can use this as my stencil. So now I'm going to need 1 more quarter sheet of cardstock. Quarter sheet? I don't know if that's our smooth cardstock, so I'll cut 1 more just to be safe.
Uh-oh. Another Benny joke came to mind.
Oh, no.
Woman came up to your father one time and said, "You look like my 3rd husband." He said, "How many times have you been married?" She said, "Twice."
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to line these up together like this. And I'm not too worried about the edges because, again, we're going to be covering this up and we're going to be trimming this out. All right. And now I'm going to use some Post-it notes just to block this off, but I am going to add a little masking magic in here just to divide out these circles. I'm going to do 1 here like this. I'm going to do 1 here like this. And I'll show you, I'll turn this into the light a little bit so you can see. And I'll do 1 here like this. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do more colors? I think I want to do more colors. See what I mean? I don't know what I'm going to do beforehand. I think I'm going to do 1 here like this, and then 1 like this. No, I'll stick with my first plan because I want this to be just a little bit lighter. So we'll just go with the first plan, just half of the circles. And this one probably is down a little low. All right, so we'll start with this one, and we're just going to block half of the circle off. And the color family that we're going to use is, should we do those lilacs? Let's do the lilacs. Or we could do pinks. Let's do the lilacs. Okay, so we'll start with a light lilac. And we'll start just very, very light touch with the lilac. There we go. Love it. Then we will switch and we'll go with the medium lilac. Now, before I do that, I'm going to do all the light lilacs first. And the reason why is because I'm going to use the same blending brush, and I don't want to contaminate the blending brush. So I'm going to use light lilac on all three of these first, this part.
Yes, Gina's sister is crafty. Kind of more an organic kind of way, right?
Yeah, she's more of a crocheter. She likes that kind of stuff. She loves to cook, but not into paper crafts. All right, we gotta make sure the masking magic stays down. There we go. And one more right here. Okay. I don't think there was anybody in our family, Tom, that paper crafts other than me. My mom was a sewer. She liked to sew. She liked to make clothes. So there's craftiness, but not paper craftiness. I like to sew too. I used to make all the kids' clothes when they were little. All right, so now we've got that color. Now let's move to the medium lilac, which has just a hair more red in it than the light lilac. So we'll block that off.
That's cool, just like it is.
I know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of your card when you were making your shard card. Everything goes back to the shard cards. So this has a little bit more red to it. Let's see what that looks like. That's cool. I like it. Block this off.
Margaret wants to know what brand of sewing machine is behind you.
That is a little tiny Janome Sew Mini sewing machine. And that is a video. I made a 4-part video back when you couldn't make a YouTube video longer than 10 minutes. So it's been more than a decade. But I made a video on, it was popular to sew on cards back then. Because back then we didn't have stitch dies. We didn't even have dies. So people were sewing on their cards to create fancy edges. And I made a video on how to get the machine out of the box, how to thread the machine, how to set up the bobbin, and actually how to sew. And it's so funny because that video has so many views. I mean, it's got to have, some of the parts have to have like 600,000 views. And when I met my daughter's roommate in New York when she was in college, her roommate knew who I was because when she was trying to figure out how to thread a sewing machine, she searched YouTube and found my video. Isn't that funny? Okay, so we're going to take this whole thing off. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And let's take a look at, I don't know where I even put the little, oh, here it is. So I think this would fit perfectly on there. See that? Isn't that cute with the little stitching? So maybe we'll do that. We'll see. But before we do that, what we're going to do is some stamping on here, some monochromatic stamping. And this technique is the one that I showed in the original video, but I'm going to show it to you again in this video now that we've got that little seam in there, because that makes it a little bit different. I had used this one, the Autumn Silhouettes, and you know what I could do though? Before I completely change this whole thing with the stamping, I'm going to pop this back on, and I'm going to use just the residue on the brush to fill in the white space. Okay, I just want to get that lined up there. And I'm going to use that same purple brush, and I'm just going to lightly fill in the white space a little bit, just a little bit, just so it's not stark white. So it's actually a third purple color, because most of what's on this brush is the medium lilac, which has a hint of red to it, but you'll be able to see it when I pull it off. See how it doesn't look so white anymore. It just looks like a real pale purple. Okay, so now I'm going to use this stamp here. I'm going to use this stamp up here, and I'll use this stamp right here, like that. Okay, we'll start with just this bottom one first. So we're going to use medium lilac, and we're going to use dark lilac for this. And for those of you who've seen this video, seen my original video, this might look a little bit familiar. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that right there. Oh, that looks so pretty. But then I'm going to take the dark lilac, and I'm just going to hit the edges a little bit with the dark lilac. Just the edges a little bit. And then I'm going to take a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend that away, because I don't want too much of that in there. Like, I don't want a harsh line, so I'm just going to use a detail brush to blend the harsh line away. Okay, and now I'm going to add that on top just to create some darker edges around the outside so it really stands out from the rest. Okay, now I think you can see that pretty well. Can you see how like the edges are a little bit darker? Gives it a little more separation. Now we'll do this one this way. This one will be easier to stamp.
Do we have a date on the next release?
I think it's April 28th.
And Gina, what two green inks would you use?
I would use light spruce and medium spruce, or I would use jelly bean and maybe grass green and fresh asparagus. So here I'm adding the dark lilac on top, just around the edges. I like the two color split there. I think that looks super cool.
Silly hoot stamping.
Silly hoot. So Tom, you know what I'm going to ask.
I'll just play the music.
You have a word of the day?
Word of the day, oh hey, hooray, let's laugh it up.
Let's do a word of the day.
It's here to stay.
Okay, today's an easy, quick one. And you actually used this word today.
I did?
Yes, just in the last 10 minutes you used this word. What does what, when Gina picks up a blending brush that has just been staring out into space for the last 24 hours and uses whatever ink is left there from the last adventure,
Yeah.
what is that called?
What is that called?
What is that called? That is called residue. Residue. Leftover color from the day before. Word o' the day. Back to the dead space.
All right. There we go. Residue. Got it.
And somebody's grandson, by the way, pointed out that those circles look like they could be Pokemon.
Oh, that would be a great way to do a Pokemon. Then do like a little... That's cool. So we could cover these, but then we kind of lose some of the leaf. And I don't think I like it as much as I like this. So instead, I'm going to cut this out using Master Layouts 2 so we get that pretty edge. People unsubscribing.
Hardly.
Okay, so back to Master Layouts 2 again. And then we'll just cut that out. We're going to cut into it a little bit, but that's okay. I still like it. We could go with a bigger Master Layouts, but I think this will be fine. As long as the circles aren't cut off, I think it's okay if some of the leaf gets cut off. People like your word of the day, Tom. It's so fitting. It's so fitting. I did say that word. I said residue a couple times, didn't I? Mm-hmm. I'm going to run this through again. I don't have my die cutting machine set quite high enough. Alrighty. There we go. The little edge. Now I'm going to cut what would be a black panel, but I'm going to use Wild Wisteria because that is a really good color for these purples, isn't it? Doesn't it look great? You know there's Wild Wisteria in there somewhere with all that ink blending and all that variation of purple color. There's got to be some Wild Wisteria in there somewhere. So we're going to use Wild Wisteria. And we'll cut what would normally be our black layer. So, now that you say the release party, that's next Tuesday already, isn't it? That's the 28th. Oh my goodness. I better get cranking. I've been making cards for the next release, but I don't have anywhere near enough cards for our release party. I gotta get cranking. So save the date for next Tuesday night, guys. We're gonna be partying. We've got some fun things happening in this release. I'm really excited about the kit, too. There is a kit. I feel pretty good about the last release, about the last kit, because I don't think I've ever made that many cards out of a kit as we've made in this last release with the kit. There were at least 15 or 16 cards that we've created. And after 16 cards, that's when I start to be like, okay, I'm ready for a little something new and something fun. Can always go back to it, right? Sneak peeks will start this weekend in our Facebook group. So make sure you join over there. And I also have been sharing them on Instagram too. And I think they've been showing up on our Facebook page too, because when I post on Instagram, it automatically posts to our Facebook page. So that'll be fun. Lots of fun sneak peeks coming. I'm going to be doing all that from the bachelorette party. I can't even believe I'm invited to the bachelorette party. I didn't cut that very well, so we'll just trim that. I mean, I didn't score it very well, so we'll just trim those couple hairs off of there so it's perfect. Okay. And then that will go right there. You can really see now that it's lightened up how adding that dark lilac to the edges really makes the leaves pop out a little bit more. We're staying at an Airbnb this weekend. All the girls. I think there's like 14 girls going. My goodness. I'll call you if we need you, Tom. To come and get me.
No, you're on your own.
I'm on my own?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No. All right, let's see. So I have a couple other stamp sets here. I think this would be cute. Hello, sweet friend. This is from Springy Sketches. But I could also use this one again, the Bright and Beautiful, and I could just use You Are Such a Bright Light. I could just do hello. I could do hello, I really miss you. Let me just look. I've got a couple other things here before I totally decide. Ooh. Oh, these are nice greetings too from Gentle Silhouettes. May this year treat you kindly. That's a great sentiment. May this year treat you kindly. I love that. Be gentle with yourself. Sending gentle hugs your way. This would be a really pretty sympathy card, wouldn't it? Sending gentle hugs your way. I'm going to do that. I like that. I could use every one of these greetings right now. I don't know what's wrong with everybody, but the whole world seems upset right now. Sending gentle hugs your way. Okay, so I'm going to step outside of the monochromatic thing here, and I am going to stamp this one with black ink. And that's because I am going to go over the purple a little bit. Should I stamp it with black ink, Tom, or should I stamp it? Should I stick to my monochromatic ways? Will anybody be upset if I go with black?
Do you need to go to black?
I don't know.
You want it to stand out more.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little of this tape, and I'm going to just tape this card shut. And I'm going to stamp it with dark lilac. And if it doesn't look good, I'm going to go over it with black. How's that?
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm glad I did the dark lilac. That's beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay. You know, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes you got to try stuff. We always have that little plan B, though, right? Because we did it with the Misty, so we could always go back and change it up a little bit if we need to. Let me make sure I don't have any purple on my hands. But I'm going to go in here and I did tape that together, so I'm just going to rub that tape off. See the tape rubbing off?
Monochromatic is very relaxing.
It is.
To the eyes and the brain.
It is. It's soft and gentle. It's perfect for this greeting. So there are 2 monochromatic silhouette stamped cards. Different than our normal black stamping that we do and more colorful backgrounds. But I feel like they're really nice for things like sympathy cards or thinking of you cards. They're also really nice as masculine cards because you could put a birthday greeting on this, and you could have done this in shades of green, or for fall you could have done it in shades of brown or, you know, deep mustard and that kind of thing. And this would just be a beautiful masculine card too. This would be a great masculine card too if you wanted to change up the silhouette stamps in there. You could add trees, you could add leaves, you could add bugs. We do have some really cool silhouette stamps that have, it's called the, is it the Good Life? The Great Outdoors. It's called the Great Outdoors. And it's got like a golfer, it's got a guy fishing, it's got somebody on a bike. And there's also girls and guys in both of those sets. So you could do like, this could be a retirement card, all kinds of ways that you could use these techniques. What do you think, Tom?
That was fun.
Yeah? Something a little different, just to stretch yourself. Play with some of the tools that you have in your craft room, because sometimes those older stamp sets that you already have, and your ink colors that you've been playing with forever, they can feel brand new with a new technique. So that would make it lots of fun. And if you don't have masking magic strips, but you have masking sheets, you can always just cut them into strips, or you can use very thin washi tape. Just tap it off on your shirt beforehand to get those thin lines going through. So there's some fun new things for you to try to get your weekend started. All right, well, we're going to give away, oh, look, I totally match these cards. Look.
Whoops.
Right? Mm-hmm. Totally match the cards.
See,
today.
you don't plan anything.
And I didn't plan that at all. I don't know. I just grabbed a bunch of, you know, right? Okay, well, we're going to give away a gift card. And if you're new here, the way to enter is just to leave a comment. So if you haven't left a comment yet, it could be as simple as just dropping an emoji in the chat, and that will enter you into the drawing for a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. They never expire. With our new release coming up, you could use it then, or you can save it for a time when you just need a little something. And if you liked today's video, and we certainly hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video. Also, in the description of the video, there is a link that you can click to sign up for texts. And before I go live, or if we have a special sale, or it's our release party, I'll send you a text message about 15 minutes before we go live, or before, you know, like right when a sale starts, so that you are the first to know. And you can, it's great because the link will be right in the text, and it makes it easy just to jump right over to YouTube and join us for the fun. All right, and then if you're not a member of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over there. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It's the group with 50,000 plus members. Come and join us and share your Gina K Designs projects and get inspired by the beautiful projects that our members post there every day. And a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Thank you, Brianne, for everything that you did for us today, linking all the products and answering questions. We appreciate you so much. If you missed any of Brianne's links, you can find everything that I used in today's video on our website at ginakdesigns.com. All right, Tom, let's do it. Let's pick a winner.
Okay. Have at it, drummer. Today's winner is Mariann Shaffer. Mariann Shaffer.
Yay, Mariann. Congratulations. You are our winner All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get that gift card emailed right over to you. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today, and thanks for the reminder about our release. Our release party is next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll have new stamps and dies by our illustrators and a brand new card kit, and you never know what else is going to show up. So we hope that you will join us for that. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Enjoy the nice weather if you have it. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.